Welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be a day in the life episode and we're gonna start it right here. I am taking Olive for a walk. I'm at Mom and Dad's today because I am processing apples. So we got apples from a guy just down the road from Mom and Dad, less than a mile down the road, and we're gonna be putting up apples today. We've been washing them. We're gonna make applesauce. I'm going to peel them and dehydrate them. Then I'm gonna make jelly out of the peelings. And I just heard some exciting news. Katie actually just bought a car. So we're gonna get to see the car soon, I'm sure. I would look forward to that. This is Mom and Dad's 28th wedding anniversary. So we're gonna go out to eat tonight for that. So this is gonna be a pretty exciting day, isn't it, Olive? What do you think, Ollie? What do you think? I actually got Olive a new toy today. I'm not really sure what she thinks about it, but it seemed so sturdy that I thought maybe she wouldn't chew it to pieces and eat it. So hopefully she will learn to love it. Yeah, she's been doing really good. Knock on wood, she hasn't had on her leash in like 3 or 4 days, but she is afraid of this green strap, so I carry this with me, but she's not tried to get away from me or nothing. She has been so good the last couple of days, so I hope that maybe we're finally turning a corner, maybe. All right, darling, we gotta go in and do these apples. We gotta go in and do these apples, huh? Come get your new toy. Do you like it? Not really. I think it has baking soda stuff on it for her teeth, and she just does not like the smell of it, I guess, but she has played with it some. First we washed the apples with some water and this brush, and then we cut off the blossom end and we quartered them, and we're letting them boil until they are soft, which looks like they are getting there. Then we're going to run them through a ricer. Another thing I want to do with these apples is dehydrate them, so we can get the skin off to dehydrate them, and then we'll make jelly out of the skins. These are in the dehydrator and it is ready to turn on. Apples are soft enough now that we're scooping them out with this and putting them into the ricer. And then the ricer will catch the seeds and the peels and put the apples out the bottom. Thank you, Mama, for helping me and teaching me.
You're welcome.
Getting these jars filled. We've already got a bunch of them filled. We're on the second pot here. We're gonna boil these for 20 minutes. Since this one is full, we just did the canner open like this to water bath these. So, applesauce. All right, Mom is taking these out. They have water bath for 20 minutes. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
We've got lots of applesauce in our future. Looking good. And we didn't add sugar to this. We'll just add it if we want whenever we eat it.
You could add, again, when you cook it for you and Austin, you can add sugar, you can add cinnamon.
Cinnamon would be tasty. Setting these down to rest, and then the applesauce will be done. Need to get another towel. Got this towel, but I'll get another one there. Alright, this applesauce is a wrap. Katie's new car. What do you think of your new car?
I like it.
Yes, I do. So the funny thing about this car is 4 years ago or so, when I bought my car at the same lot from the same man, he had a CRV like this. It wasn't this color, but it was just like this, and he said, you should come drive it. I said no, and then that happened to be on the lot at the same time. That's what I ended up buying. But it's funny that 4 years later, the other twin did buy a CRV.
Yeah, and it was the same kind of thing. He called me this morning. I told him I'd been looking for a car, which everybody's going to be like, what are you doing with the truck? I'm like, I know y'all, with the truck and a 4Runner, but the truck pours out transmission fluid, and don't even get me started about the 4Runner. But as much as traveling as I've been doing, going back and forth to see Nick, I'm trying to put my foot up here. It doesn't work. It's not like my truck. There's not a big hole to put my foot. As much traveling as I've been doing, I just want something that I can jump in and I can go, and I don't have to think about, will it get me there? What's it doing? What's it leaking? You know, that kind of thing. So I told him that like a month ago. I said, if you run into any good deals, let me know. He sent me a text yesterday. He said, have you found anything? I said, no. He knew this was coming in, so he called me this morning. He told me to come look at it. He hadn't even looked it over yet, but he'd already had a phone call about it because somebody drove past the lot and saw it. So I come in, and I went to test drive it, and we couldn't find the keys. And it turns out the last people who would test drive it accidentally took the keys with them. So they came back, gave us the keys, decided they didn't want it. I drove it, decided I liked it and wanted it. For what it is, 2010 Honda CR-V, 97,000 miles. I felt like what I paid for it and what it is, I really just think this is a really good car. I mean, it's like somebody's really taking care of it. The underside is like super clean. It is front wheel drive. I mean, I really wish it had been 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but you know, I have a 4Runner and a truck for that, and it's not like I'm going anywhere that I need that.
And it still come up the driveway fine.
Well,
so.
here it sits, yeah. So, I mean, this was like totally unexpected. There's no way I would have woke up today and said, guess what, I'm gonna buy a car, and now I have 3 cars, but now I can work on the 4Runner as I want, work on the truck as I want, and then have this car and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, it's really clean. Now, of course, I've put stuff in there. This is all my papers and my Brooks and Dunn CD.
Nice.
I really like this about it. This cup holder, you can do this and it'll flop down.
That's nice.
So
So
if you
stay out of the way.
Yeah, if you had to put something in there for whatever reason. I like this slot right here because it fits my phone.
Yeah.
And I love that CD radio player because it's small, it's out of the way. There's no screen. It's not digital. I mean, it's
Does
digital.
that have a 6-deck CD player?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why does it have 6 buttons? We're not really sure if this has a 6-deck CD player or not, but one of those buttons, 1 through 6, and then on mine, those buttons are what switches between the CDs. If anyone has any idea about this being a 6-deck CD player, let us know. Maybe it's not. Whoever had this car kept it really clean. It's only had 2 owners.
Lived in Tennessee its whole life, so... It actually also has a power outlet there. It's got one in the back.
Got in a place for an aux cord,
which is cool. I probably won't even use that, to be honest, but that is
Oh,
cool.
yours has my thing.
I know.
I just crushed that CD, sorry.
It's got a shelf. I love that about it.
Katie likes that about my
I
car.
like it's got cruise control on the steering wheel, which I'm probably not going to use that either, but...
We don't live somewhere, for the most part, where you can cruise control, you'll die.
Yeah, that's
Go
true.
around a curve.
That's true. I like that. That fits well.
I like how these go up and down.
I still really like this. I like being able to be like, bye-bye, I don't want it up anymore. Totally down. I appreciate that. I just, like I said, maybe I wouldn't have said, oh, I'm going to buy a Honda CR-V. I probably wouldn't have said that. I said Toyota. But, I mean, gosh, just what they cost. What the RAV4s and some of the other stuff costs right now. I mean, I was looking at a Toyota Camry. 2000, can't remember if it was 11. It might have even been 13. Probably more like 11. We'll say 2011 Toyota Camry car. 80,000 miles on it. And they wanted $14,000 for it. And I'm like, it's just not worth that. So I paid a lot less than that for this.
Yeah, now is the worst time in like human history to buy a car, especially a used car, but you can't help it if you need it. Now's a bad time to buy a house, but if you need a house, you need a house.
Exactly. And Steve's a family friend. I know him very well. We know him very well. So he gave me a really good deal. He helped me out, and I also trust him. And he has a reputation for getting these types of cars with low mileage and in good shape. I mean, so the Carfax say that in 2019 it got full service and new tires. Well, based on what the tires look like from the time that they were changed, I'm like, this thing must have been barely drove since then, because the tires on it are practically brand new. I even think the struts are new. They look new. So this thing was definitely never drove anywhere but on a highway. I mean, it's not been in the mud. It ain't been in nothing nasty. He got it just how it was given to him. He didn't even have time to clean it, so he gave me $40 to run it through the car wash. I was like, this man is so sweet. So, if you need a car, Forrester's Carport is your people. I'm telling you, that guy, he will hunt these down. I told him what I wanted, and he practically hunted us down and he called me first thing because he wanted me to see it. So
that's where mine came from.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, I'll be back one day when I got to buy another car. I recommend everybody I know to them. I mean, I just can't get over how nice it was and how he helped me out, you know. And it may be because he's got kids my age and older, and he's like, I know how it is. And it is tough. So, totally last minute thing, had no idea. My dad said, we got a car lot up here now, and they're all yours, Katie. Everybody else up here only has one car, and now I've got
yeah, we've got
3.
This one. There's my car, Dad's truck, 4Runner. Mom's car. Of course, my car will be gone this evening, but
yeah, but I'm so relieved to feel like I've got a car I can get in and go and trust it, and I've got plenty of time to worry about the truck. Who cares about the transmission? I'm sure it could be something basic. I bet it is something basic, but there's no pressure to be like, I gotta get one of these cars running so I can beat the roads back and forth to see Nick. Who cares? It's not a headache anymore. Although tomorrow morning, if all goes as planned, and I do want to get a video out of it, me and Dad are going to try to replace the dash in my truck. I bought a brand new dash for it and a fuel gauge, so I want to rip it all out at the same time. And
well,
he said he's done that before, so he's like, it's really not that bad. It's just a matter of unhooking it and getting it hooked back in. So maybe that'll go good, and then I'll be one step closer to having another one of my vehicles going. I got 1 out of 3 now.
Today we're getting to see our friends, Homestead and Pastor Lon and Robbie Lynn. If you haven't subscribed to their channel yet, you're missing out. We'll leave the link in the description. But they're camping and we're getting to come and see them today. We've ate lunch and had such a wonderful time so far. We're so grateful to get to see them, and now we're going to fish a little bit because it's right along this real pretty river here, so
Yeah,
or creek.
I've never been here. I've never fished here.
Fish, yeah.
All I know is we're on reservation land, so you have to have a tribal permit. So we got that tribal permit.
Yeah.
A regular North Carolina state license, fishing license will not work. So we got the permit, and now we're just going to try to find some more to fish. I'd cast right there, you go, like that, right in there. It's kind of hard water to fish because it's shallow. It's probably not always this shallow, it's just this time of year. I would just try to find cover where the fish might be. So they might be under that rock. That would be a little bit of cover, and that water's deeper. So I would just cast up above it and then go below it. So I say all that, and then I may have a hard time casting above it. I'll just let it spin on down like that. The bugs are so dang bad I can't focus the cast. Corey, look, the thing's massive. So if I juggled that up through here, I'd be so dang happy. I don't know what that is. I said it looked like a perch, but it may be, but I'm not actually sure. See what he likes, so. Does that tickle your fancy? No, it definitely terrified him. He's out of here. You don't catch big fish like that on artificial lures. You're gonna catch him on worms, bread, or probably corn. Which I can't handle a fish that big anyway. It's fun to just look, even if we don't end up fishing a lot, because these ducks, I don't want to take a chance at hurting one of the ducks. They're too cute. How you fish a pond? I never fished a pond but I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna be limited to where I can cast because of these dang ducks. I'd let this sink a little bit and jump it around. Corey's fishing a wacky rig. I give her a dinger to put on the end of her pole. Corey, you're doing a good job.
I'm trying.
You having fun?
Yeah.
We've not caught any fish, and I, to be honest, don't think that we're going to catch any, but we're having a good time, so I'm happy with that. We did see like what I thought was that big perch, which was cool. You got some seaweed on there, or some algae, or whatever that is. There you go. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm just practicing casting. I'm just not good at it yet. So a pond is much easier for me to cast in than like a river or creek where there's trees over it. So even just the casting to me is fun because I'm learning how to do that.
That's how I felt when I first started. I loved just casting. And one day, if you keep fishing, you'll be as good as me. I'm joking. I'm really not that good of a fisher, but we're trying. And we got these geese around and ducks, so that's part of what's making it really hard. There was this one earlier in that little fountain that was just like it was swimming around, looking like drinking the water out of the fountain. It was really cute.
Hi.
Austin changed his bowstring.
Yep, got the red and black for the dogs. Not even joking, that's why they're red and black.
There you go.
Yep. So, just getting the bow retuned and resighted in. Not really ideal to be retuning 2 weeks before the season, but
that's what you got.
But, you know, when you get a nick in your bowstring, you don't want to take chances. So, got a good go. Pretty close. Probably gonna need a little more dialed in, but getting close. They're grouping pretty good.
Yeah.
First half's just a little low of fletch, but
Today I'm gonna try my hand at making some lemon scented vinegar cleaner. I've had these lemons for a while and I've been meaning to do this. I got this big jar and I'm gonna put the lemon rinds in there. I actually just run these through the microwave just for a few seconds. I seen somewhere that would make it easier to get the juice out. I'm gonna get the juice out and put it in there. I'll save it, I might freeze it, and of course we'll use it at a later date. And then I'm gonna put all the rinds in the jar. And then I've actually got some fresh lavender leaves, you know, lavender growing outside, so I think I'll add some fresh lavender leaves and just see if I can make myself a really good natural cleaner that smells good. I've got some of these rinds ready, so I'm gonna put them in and see how many I got. I just took a fork and kind of used it since I don't have one of the things that you, like the juice thingy that you twist it on. Yeah, I may honestly just go ahead and do this whole bag. Got my jar filled with lemon rinds. Chop it just a little bit to kind of break up the surface area of it, and I'm going to get it in the jar. Here is all the lemon juice I ended up getting out of all those lemons, so I'll save that, of course, to do something with. And now, we got my white vinegar, and I'm going to cover everything in the jar. Alright, I filled it all the way to the top and got my lavender in there. Now I put a lid on, and then this will sit for a couple weeks, at least a week, but I'll probably let it sit for maybe 3 weeks, and then I'll strain it out and I'll have some cleaner. I'm pretty excited about this. I've seen a video about it and I've seen other people writing about it online, and I just wanted to give it a try. Austin and I use like natural cleaners. When I buy cleaner, I try to buy some kind of all natural stuff, but I'm sure it probably even then has ingredients in it that are not so great, and of course it can be somewhat expensive. So this is pretty cool to not only make your own, but if you have lemons, it's a really good way to kind of use every bit that you can from the lemon and not waste it. So pretty excited about this. Comment below and let me know if you've ever made cleaner like this. You can also, today I am finally gonna strain these tinctures. Oh my gosh, this one has been setting since April. I guess that's okay though. That one's been sitting since May. That one since June. I am not a pro with this, guys. I've had some people comment when I've mentioned tinctures that, oh, we want you to teach us how. I definitely want to be able to do that at some point, but I am not a master at this by any means. Of course, I could totally make a video just showing what I do know, but these are herbs that I just put in this jar. I cut them, broke up the surface area so that way they could release some more of their goodness that was in them, and put vodka over them, and they have just been sitting in my pantry for a long time. And then I would shake them like once a week or a couple times a week when I would think of it. The dead nettle, I dried those herbs first, but the lemon balm I did fresh. You can do it different ways, and it depends on the herb that you're doing. Dead nettle is good for a lot of things. It's good for allergies, and lemon balm is also good for a lot of things, but I like lemon balm because it's really good for your nervous system. It's very calming. So I've got cheesecloth over a strainer, and I'm going to finally strain these. And then I've got dropper bottles that I will put them into at some point, but I haven't washed the dropper bottles yet, and I'm kind of running out of time this evening, so I may just put these back into another jar, and then at whatever day I decide to put them in the dropper bottles, then they will be ready. I gotta smell this and see what it's like. Woo-hoo, it's strong. Ooh, look at that pretty green liquid though. Wow. As you can see, a lot of the liquid has already went to the bottom there, but the cheesecloth through the strainer is good, because what you can do now is take this cheesecloth and kind of, it's hard to do with filming with one hand, but you can take the cheesecloth and then squeeze it, and then you'll get a lot more liquid, and that is so much easier to do than it is to like take a silicone spatula and run it around the mesh thing there. It's just easier to do it like this. Of course, you want very clean hands when you do this. And see how much more liquid? I mean, this is probably 2 or 3 teaspoons more liquid than I'm getting out of this, so it's worth doing this. Cheesecloth is good to have on hand for a lot of different things. And I kind of hate to waste these herbs, so I'm going to put it right into the compost. Now I'm going to pour this into this jar. Look at all that goodness there. Before I strain out these, like I was talking about how I made these just putting the herbs in there and covering them with vodka, there's so many different ways to do this, and this is why I've kind of been a little bit hesitant about making a video. This is kind of what's called the folk method, which is just filling the jars 3/4 with the herbs and pouring the liquid over it, but there's lots of different ways to do this. A lot of people do it with weight. They weigh the herbs and the alcohol, and there's definitely different ratios of like how many parts herb to how many parts alcohol. There's lots of different ways, and I think that weighing things and doing the ratio of whatever part herbs to the alcohol probably is a better way to do it, and that's why I've been kind of hesitant, like I said, to make a video, because I don't know everything about making tinctures just yet. I'm just learning, but I will say the folk method has been my favorite so far because it's the easiest, but I also kind of think about it like this. Back in the day, like in the hills and the mountains of Appalachia in the 1800s, granny women who knew how to make these tinctures, knew how to go and gather the plant and the properties of it. They didn't have scales. They didn't have a lot of equipment to get really exact ratios. They would have just put it in a jar, filled it with corn liquor, because that's probably what they had, and it sufficed. So I don't know how, I'm still kind of making up my mind on how I feel about kind of doing it as an exact science. Nothing wrong with that, but if you really think about it, back in the day, this is all they had, and it worked, right? So, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Those are kind of my thoughts on it. I'm going to get the lid off of this one and do it next. Of course, I want to smell this one too. It smells about the same, honestly. I figured it might have more of a lemon smell, but guess not. Alright, time to squeeze this one here. Oh yeah, this one had a lot more liquid to squeeze out than that other one for whatever reason. Now I could go ahead and strain this one through since they're both lemon balm, but I actually don't want to do that because this one was done sooner, so it's set longer, and I want to know which is which, so that way I can make notes about which one seems more potent. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pour this one off before I do the next lemon balm one. Just straining out the last of the last lemon balm here. And there my tinctures are. On another day where I have more time, I will put them into dropper bottles. Look at that pretty yellow color that comes from the lemon balm, and that dead nettle's got a pretty green, so I'll be excited to be able to use these. The lemon balm I know I would like to take maybe at night to kind of just help relieve stress and help me sleep. Probably just take a couple drops in some water. You could put it in some tea. I've even heard of some people putting it in honey to dilute it. But I'm pretty pleased with these. It's taken me a long time to strain them out, but there they are.